here's an update. Um, I'm now planning to build a little 2-axis laser cutter that I can set on my lap to cut out squares. I bought a big $350 laser cutter, but it's huge and has a ventilation system and all this extra stuff. It's a CO2 laser too. I think I can use a non-CO2 laser, solid state one, which I already bought a long time ago. So I'm thinking of just making a real simple 2-axis CNC machine laser cutter that I can cut squares with on my lap and just store it on a shelf near me, out of the way. I think that's the easiest solution if that could work. I'll probably put it in my vacuum chamber when I do cutting with it. Okay. So okay. Uh, no, this is going to be a very, very small laser cutter that will you can just use right on your lap. It's not going to be stored in another room or anything fancy like that. Shoot. Okay. Oh man. Thanks for the subfluoride. You know what? What if we have the whole thing be like a tube? I can't. Oh my gosh. You know what? Let me use a ruler. I mean, this straight aligns for this distance. I need a ruler, man. Oh, I messed up. Crap. Wait. There has to be 2 bars so it doesn't rotate coaxially. Inches. Okay. Guys, I did it. Okay, so here's the design, final design. It's gonna be 6 inches wide by 5 inches tall by 14 inches length. It's gonna have 2 rubber rollers in the front and 2 in the back, which will be actually pinched together, and you'll feed the sheet through, and they'll be motorized, and they'll start drawing it through, and then it will click into the back set as well. And we'll probably have to put tape on the back, so when it feeds through, it won't feed through wasting material. Whichever passes that laser is wasted. So we'll probably put some paper taped on the back so that the leading edge won't be wasted fabric. So anyways, it will feed in until the fabric reaches the laser, then the laser can begin. There's going to be a 2-inch margin on either side so that the left edge of the laser, when it moves all the way over, will have space so that the center of the laser can reach the far edge of the cloth, so that we don't waste edges of the cloth because the laser can't get over far enough, because the laser has some width itself separate from its laser point. So from the point of the laser to the side of the box, or from this point of the laser to the left side of the box needs to be able to fit to the left of the cloth so that that laser can hit the very left edge of the cloth. And the same on this side. That way we're not wasting any material. And this laser will just have a 3D printed box around it, and it can just have set screws to screw into it to lock it in place. And then the box will have 2 holes on either side to send a thin bar through, and those 2 bars will just give it a track to follow. And it's 2 so that it won't be able to rotate this way. It will be kept perpendicular at all times, which will improve the accuracy. These two side things can be made of acrylic or any plastic really, or metal. Doesn't really matter. Just cut out. I was thinking maybe a centimeter thick, so something substantial, kind of like the side frames of my ANET A8 3D printer. It's made of acrylic, black acrylic, so I might use something like that. Something stiff. These will keep that from wobbling left and right. These, I think, will keep it from wobbling left and right on the bottom. It should be relatively firm. Although, we might... Yeah, we probably should put a board in the back. From here to here. So that will reinforce the back edge of it. So I just drew a little board with a line from here to here. So that way it's really reinforced from wobbling these two side edges that everything's mounted into. Although that made the drawing kind of a little more difficult to understand. I can't add too many more lines horizontally, and because otherwise it just gets all confusing looking. Its complexity is kind of tapped out at this point. So this is the laser itself, and it will just, the laser will only move left and right, and then these feed rollers that will be motorized will drag the fabric back and forth through it. And that will keep the form factor really small. So it's going to be kind of like a loaf of bread, actually, in terms of its total size. So I'll just be able to set that on my lap, feed the fabric in, and then it's just going to take over once I press a button to go. And it will just cut out standard squares, a few of them, and then it will, so it will like cut, 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 then it will set the laser here, and the rollers will feed it through, which will cause it to cut that way, and then it will cut across, and then the rollers will feed it back through, and then it will cut across, and then it will stop, it will move over, cut across, the rollers will feed it through, then it will move forward, the rollers feed it through, then it will cut across, then it will turn off, come over here, rollers will feed it forward, then it will come across, rollers will feed it back, then it will come across, and then it will shift over and do the next line the same way. So the laser only needs to go left and right, the rollers will do this way, and that will cut the squares. I want it to be AC powered, so I'll need to create a power supply for it. I'll probably have that in like a wall wart. Kind of like a laptop, it has a little AC to DC converter in a little black box on the floor. And then you just have a cord that plugs into the side of this and an on button, you switch it on. And it's all going to be Arduino based. It's only going to need one motor for left and right and one motor for back and forth of the roller. So it's going to need only 2 motors. And that's about it. So, yeah.